Hey, welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving into the juicy world of Am I the A-hole Reddit posts. Let's explore some crazy posts and decide who's in the right and who is in fact an a-hole. Grab a snack and let's get started. Am I the a-hole for telling my mother-in-law I'll pay for my wedding myself if she can't respect my few wishes? From Redditor 1273 Rockefeller. Okay. I, 25 male, will be marrying my fiancée, 25 female, later on this year. I proposed to her a little bit before Christmas and we're aiming for a November wedding. Girlfriend has 2 older brothers, only one of which has gotten married, and for one reason or another, my mother-in-law, 68 female, was not involved in the planning of the weddings at all. She was pretty hurt over this, and she's always wanted to help plan her children's weddings, so when we got engaged, she offered to pay for most of the wedding, and in return we agreed to let her help with the planning. In my mind, as long as I'm marrying my girlfriend, I'm happy, so I was okay with this. Okay? Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a fair deal. You know, I think most people would be happy to take their mother-in-law up on that offer. However, it sounds like it's not going to be the deal you were hoping for, you know, based on the title, something's clearly going to go wrong here. The only thing I'm really sticking to that I refuse to change is what I'm wearing. My mother died when I was very young and she was the daughter of first-generation Scottish immigrants. My grandparents moved from the north of Scotland in the 60s and my mother was brought up learning about her parents' culture. Since she died, I've had a hard time connecting to that side of my family. After my grandfather died a few years ago, I decided that I wanted to wear her family's kilt when I get married. Yeah, that's a lovely idea. I talked about this with my fiancée before we got engaged because it is an unorthodox idea, but she thought it was sweet and liked the idea. Yeah, it is a sweet idea. It's a lovely idea, and it's really not that unorthodox either. I'm glad to hear that your girlfriend agreed with you and thinks that it's a nice idea, but let's see what your mother-in-law thinks, shall we? A few days ago, my mother-in-law came up to me and told me I'd have to wear a traditional tux instead of a kilt. Yeah, I saw that one coming. When I asked her why, she said it went against the view she had of my girlfriend's wedding, and that the colours of my mother's tartan clashed with the colours she had chosen for the wedding. Well, then why did she choose those colours if she knew that you were going to be wearing this kilt and it was important to you? When I told her that this was pretty much the only thing I'm unwilling to budge on, she brought up how she's paying for most of the wedding and wearing a tux is the least I could do. This seems completely unreasonable. If you seem like, I don't know the family dynamics here obviously, but from what we've been told, you seem to be very passive, easygoing, happy to let your mother-in-law do all these different things and make all these different decisions. But you only have one thing that you're not willing to budge on, which seems completely reasonable to me. And it's something that's really important to you because of your culture and the fact that your mother's passed away. So it's not like you're asking for something that is just a bit of a whim. This is actually really genuinely important to you. So I don't see how the mother-in-law could possibly turn around and say that you're being unreasonable in this situation. It's crazy how weddings seem to bring out the absolute worst in some people. Like, just crazy. But anyway, let's see what happens next. When I brought this up to my girlfriend, she echoed the sentiment her mother had made about paying for the wedding. I'm able to pay for it myself, and I told my girlfriend that I thought she understood how important this connection to my mother was to me, especially because she can't be there. And if she wasn't able to accept that, then I'd pay for the wedding myself. I mean, how are they going to argue with that? I'm not shocked, but I'm saddened that your girlfriend has gone and sided with her mother on this, because if she originally agreed to it and understood how important it was to you, then it's really sad that she would take her mother's side in this argument. I mean, I can imagine that her mother's probably been making her life an absolute living hell, because your girlfriend probably had a million ideas that she had for her own wedding. And if your mother-in-law won't let you have one thing that is yours, then I'm sure that she's being just equally as awful with her daughter as well. But it's really sad that she isn't siding with you in this. Girlfriend told me I was being a bit of a D for being this stuck to what I want to wear, and once my mother-in-law heard that I would just pay for the wedding myself, she got really upset because it's always been her dream to plan G's wedding. I'm feeling like a bit of a D right now and was wondering if I should just wear a standard tux. My family's kilt is really important to me, but this is causing more conflict than I thought it would. Okay, well, in my opinion, sir, you are not the a-hole. I think you're being completely reasonable. Obviously, I don't know the dynamics of your relationship, and I don't know all of the dynamics between you and your girlfriend and your mother-in-law. It's very nice of you to actually be feeling wrong in this situation. Like, you're clearly quite a reasonable person to really be considering the feelings of your mother-in-law, despite the fact that she's being completely unreasonable. That shows a lot of, kindness from you. So, well done for that. But no, I mean, it seems to me like your mother-in-law needs to allow you this one thing. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And if she's gone ahead and bought loads of things for the wedding already that don't match your kilt because she chose colours that she preferred to those for whatever reason, then that is her own problem, not yours. You made it very clear from the beginning that you really wanted to wear this kilt for very personal reasons. And if she went ahead and started planning the wedding disregarding that, then that's not your problem to solve, and I wouldn't be feeling guilty about it. Anyway, let's hear what other Redditors had to say. Okay, Raymond Beaumont said, this should be a really good learning lesson, and the point of it, should the wedding take place? The only opinions and wants that matter in this relationship seem to be that of your mother-in-law and significant other. Are you willing to be an afterthought in your own marriage? I mean, that's a really good point. I obviously don't know much about your relationship, so, if this is the first and only time that your girlfriend's been a bit unreasonable with you, and it's probably because of pressure from her mother, then I wouldn't necessarily see this is a reason to end the relationship. But if this is one of many times that she's been completely unreasonable with you, then it is a bit of a red flag. But again, only you can really answer this, because you would know better than anybody else if you think you are actually an afterthought in your own marriage. The chances are that this is just a difficult situation because your significant other doesn't want to upset her own mother. And that is understandable to a degree, but if she's really doesn't care about your opinion and your feelings in this situation, then that does bring up a lot of questions and suggest that maybe she isn't the perfect partner, maybe not the right person to marry. But again, I'd need more details in order to pass that judgment. Aragon36 said, red flag. It appears fiancé is focused more on the wedding than on the marriage. You've been relegated to the back row with your preferences cast aside. Like you said, your fiancé knows the importance and apparently just doesn't care. Yeah, I mean, it's sad that your fiancé isn't just standing up for you in this situation. She really should stand up to her mother about this. It's because she knows how important it is to you. Transportation Lazy 55 said this, it's such a red flag and your partner is being dismissive of the one thing you asked for. And how the F anyway did they pick those colours when the kilt pattern was already a known thing? I am sorry for your loss. I would put the wedding on hold and do a few couples counselling sessions. I don't advise simply paying for it yourself and going forwards. No, I wouldn't pay for everything yourself. It seems completely unreasonable and unfair that you're not being allowed your one choice in this, especially since it's something that's so important to you. I would sit down and have a good conversation, all three of you. Or maybe have a good conversation alone with your partner as well and really stress how important this is to you. And if they aren't able to understand that and see how important it is to you and let you have that one thing in your wedding, then perhaps some marriage counselling is a good idea, actually, or couples counselling, and then see where things go from there. But yeah, anyway, I think the consensus here is you are not the a-hole, sir, and I hope you can get this sorted out. Okay, I just realised we actually have an update on this post, and I'm really excited to hear what the OP has to say. Okay, so he said the past 24 hours or so have been really eventful. I took most people's advice and talked to my fiancé about this issue before going forward. Her siding with her mother like this and going against me was really out of character, so I felt like I really needed to figure out what was on the go. Yeah, I'm really glad that you've decided to have this conversation with her. The long and the short of it comes down to money. G doesn't make as much of a salary as I do. I make almost 2.5 her salary. Despite this, she's pretty insistent on things being 50-50 between us, which is very nice. It's good. You know, it's good when you have a partner that doesn't expect you to pay for everything. Our finances aren't combined until after marriage because of some weird tax issues and legal things in our home region. She insists we're a team and have to go 50-50 on big things: rent, car payments, electrical, wedding, etc. So even though I'm able to pay for the wedding myself, she's not able to pay for the half she feels like she'd want to pay. Because of this, she's really clinging to the idea of her mother paying for our wedding, even though I'd be more than happy to pay for it all myself. Okay, so that's unexpected. I mean, it sounds like your girlfriend is a pretty good woman, to be honest. I mean, if her main concern is not coming from a greedy place, it seems to be coming from she actually wants to help out and be a 50-50 partner with you, so that's quite encouraging in terms of your relationship moving forwards. We talked yesterday evening and she said that since she accepted her mother paying for the wedding, their relationship has become pretty strained. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like I said earlier, I think that if her mother-in-law is being this unreasonable about one small thing that you want, she's probably being incredibly unreasonable when it comes to all the things that your girlfriend wanted to have in her wedding as well. Apparently, mother-in-law was initially pushing for a tropical destination wedding in Jamaica, an idea G put down quickly as she knows I hate the idea of destination weddings, and mother-in-law had even tried to get final say on the dress G was going to wear. If she's expecting to have the final say on what you wear, then I'm not surprised that she wanted to have the final say on what your partner's wearing either. As well as she wanted final say over who the bridesmaids were, she wanted her friend's daughters, who G is not close with, in the party. Oh, see, that's just too much. I mean, again, I'm not surprised at all. It's like I said, before I realised there was an update, you know, I was saying I'm sure that the mother-in-law has been making G's life a nightmare as well, so this is just confirming my suspicions there. I've had a pretty good relationship with mother-in-law so far, so I found it kind of odd how she went total mumzilla, but I have noticed her and G drifting apart a bit, although I never thought it was related. Yeah, I totally saw this coming. Come on, like, if she's been this unreasonable about you wearing a kilt, were you actually surprised that she's being like this with your partner as well? A few people thought that G actually hated the idea of the kilt and had mother-in-law acting as the bad guy to try and change my mind, and you're not completely wrong. She doesn't hate the idea, but really doesn't like that the other male members of the bridal party will be wearing tuxes, while myself and my cousin would be wearing kilts. She wanted consistency across the board and had expressed this to her mother. Mother-in-law took this as an opportunity to get me to wear a tux instead of getting the groomsmen to wear kilts, and had the wedding colours changed without G's knowledge to contrast with my family's tartan. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I'm glad that G's been honest with you and told you actually what happened and how we got to this situation. Hopefully G is happy for all of the groomsmen to wear a kilt in order to have that consistency that she wants, rather than making you lose that important part of your wedding. When I talked to G yesterday, she said that she had just gotten out of a massive fight with her mother over changing the colours and really wasn't in the mood to start another argument with her. She acknowledged she was in the wrong for siding with her mum and seemed genuinely sorry. She said that in the stress of planning a wedding while having an overbearing mother, she had thought of the kilts as another detail and had forgotten the significance of it to me, and that she was really sorry. Well, I'm really glad that she's apologising and that she is taking responsibility for her mistakes in this scenario. And I really hope that you're going to come to a decision that can make everybody happy. Well, at least you and your partner. I don't think any decision you're going to make is going to make the mother-in-law happy at this point. In the meantime, a few changes have been made. My mother-in-law is no longer paying for the wedding and no longer involved in the planning. Oh, good. Yeah, that sounds like the best decision all round. I'm sure your mother-in-law's fuming, but I think she brought this on herself, you know. I'm going to pay for half, as G never wanted me to pay for more than half by myself for something that's for both of us, and my father-in-law is covering the parts that G is going to have some trouble covering. Mother-in-law is unaware of this. Father-in-law and mother-in-law are still together, however, he's not telling her he's helping pay. Okay, yeah. I mean, thank goodness for father-in-law, am I right? Clearly he knows how much of a pain in the backside his wife is, and I'm glad that he's supporting you and your partner without, you know, it's probably for the best that he doesn't tell the mother-in-law, because this way he's able to support his daughter, which I'm sure he's happy to do, without causing a big fight and a silly scenario that doesn't need to happen. But it's quite funny that he's going behind her back, I'm not going to lie. We're still getting married in November. Wedding colours have been changed back to match my kilt, and we've decided to rent kilts in our regional tartan for the rest of the groomsmen so that they match the aesthetic. Good, that's great. I'm so happy for you. Thankfully, no deposits were put down on things like tux rentals, bridesmaids' dresses or decorations, so no money lost. Oh, good, that's great. I know a lot of people told me to seriously reconsider marrying G, and going into our talk last night, I really was, but I'm happy with how things turned out, since this really was an anomaly in her behaviour, and I really am excited to marry her. Okay. I mean, I only just reacted to it, so you all know that I personally didn't think he should necessarily reconsider the marriage. This is one of the downfalls of putting a post up on here, isn't it? You're going to have opinions from every angle, but I'm really glad that you did go and talk to your partner and find an outcome that worked for everybody, and it seems like you found an outcome that can make everybody happy. I mean, other than your mother-in-law, but she brought that on herself. She had every opportunity to be a part of this wedding, and her unreasonable behaviour is the reason why she's no longer involved. That's not your problem anymore. But yeah, like I said earlier, I feel like your girlfriend was under an immense amount of pressure from her mother, because, you know, if somebody's so unreasonable to not allow you to have even one single thing in this wedding that's yours, then she's clearly not going to be being reasonable with her own daughter about the whole situation. And I'm sure your girlfriend was incredibly stressed out, so I'm really happy that you got to talk to her, you got to go through all this, and you found an outcome that is the perfect outcome, to be honest. Not only do you not have to pay for the entire wedding yourself, which is always a good thing, but, you know, you've come to an understanding with your partner, and you're happy, and you're both going to get the wedding that you deserve. So congratulations, I'm so happy for you. It's really nice to see one of these posts end really well, you know, have a positive outcome. It's also really nice to see an update and learn about the actual outcome. So thank you for the update, OP. I'm really happy to hear it. Okay, let's see what the Redditors had to say. Okay, Academic Height 187 said, "What a fantastic update. Yes, I agree. OP, I'm happy to hear you were able to clear the air with your girlfriend and are going ahead with the wedding of your dreams and not what your mother-in-law dictated. Yep. As for G, I'm sure this was a great burden and lots of stress. Yeah, lifted off her shoulders, because it seems her mum's choices were making her very unhappy too. Your future father-in-law sounds like a very good man. Yeah, I fully agree. I'm so happy for you. I wish you and your girlfriend all the best, and I hope that the rest of your wedding can be filled with positive communication just like this. Anyway, what do you think, guys? Let me know. I was so happy to find that there was an update. I really genuinely didn't know there was an update at the beginning, and then I noticed the little update thingy on the top. So such a nice surprise to get an update partway through recording this video, and I'm really happy I was able to share that with you. Please let me know your opinions in the comments. I'd love to chat to you about this one. Have you had similar problems with mother-in-laws or father-in-laws or another member of your family trying to butt in where they're not deserved? If you have, tell me. Let's talk. I love it. Okay. What did you think of the posts we discussed today? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.